Today I'm going to try to restore these headlights. They are very rough, they're very scratchy, they're very faded and oxidized, and they have lots of scratches because I've made some previous attempts to try and correct them, but they, to no avail, stay yellowed and foggy. So I've gone out and bought this Wipenew Rust-Oleum kit. I bought one of these yesterday with my friend for his Camry, and that turned out really well, as you can see here. And so when you open the box, it gives you this bag, and in here is a cloth that is soaked in a chemical which smells pretty bad, but works amazingly. And in here you'll have your sanding block as well as a rag to wipe it down, some instructions, and some gloves. And you also want to have with you like a spray bottle or a hose or something, because you're going to be wet sanding this, so you want to keep it lubricated. So when we bought this yesterday, we actually bought two because it says on the box that it only has like one of each thing in here. But that's all you need. This rag will go for 2 headlights, so you don't need to buy 2 kits, you only need to buy 1. And here's that sanding block that I was talking about. This is the green side is rougher, and you start with this. And then the gray side is a lot smoother and is a lot finer, and will make the scratches a lot more smaller, so that when you go over with this, it hides it a lot more. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is just take a damp rag and make sure that the headlight is as clean as it can be. You want to make sure you scrub everything and just make sure that everything gets as clean as possible so that there aren't any contaminants on the surface. And then you want to get to a dry spot and dry it off. And do the same for both sides. Alright, now what I have here is just a regular old water bottle with a hole in it so that I can put some water on the lens when I go to sand. And now I'm going to start off with my green, and I'm going to get it a little wet, and I'm just going to start sanding. Make sure I keep some water on it. Alright, now I'm going to flip over to the gray side and get rid of a lot of these harder sanding marks. And as you can see after the sanding, it's a little bit hazy, but a lot of that yellow is gone. When you compare it to the other side, there still is a lot of that rough yellow up there. You can see this is still very rough and scratchy, and over here, it's a lot more smooth. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I've taken the cloth out of the yellow pouch. And it smells atrocious. And I'm just going to try and gently apply it without touching any of the paintwork, because you don't want to do that. And it certainly is going on well, and it's making it a lot clearer. I think this is working really well. You see, there's still some oxidation on here too. Now these lenses were pretty trash, so there is still some rough spots on them. But as far as I can see, those look to be pretty good. I'm trying to show you here on the passenger side too. Just want to wipe it across. And I guess it is like the name says, you are pretty much wiping new. And And that's probably the best these headlights have looked in the last 10 years. As you can see, all the yellowing is gone. These lenses are really clear other than the fact that they're cracked from heat. But this is the clearest I've ever seen these lights. You can see on the other side, turned out really well over here too. That looks pretty clear to me. As you can see where the beam hits, it's pretty clear there. And it's even showing a lot sharper of a line on the wall. Before it used to be a lot more scattered, and it looks sharper now. So that clip was filmed back in January, and it's now June 14th. And as you can see, the headlights have gotten a little bit hazier. They're still kind of smooth, they're a little rough, but they're a lot smoother than they were. You can see some of the fading has come back in them on both sides, part of the mess. This side's a lot worse. It actually looks worse in person than it's showing up on camera. I'd say for the money, these are a pretty good deal. It was only 10 bucks for this kit, and it made it look really good for a while. It's only just now starting to come back, but if you really need your car to look perfect for like a car show or something, this is great. But it's not really a good long-term solution.